Life in New York City, New Jersey, and Connecticut was abruptly upended this weekend by a true polar vortex, plunging the region into a dangerous deep freeze. Overnight, the familiar hum of city life was replaced by the howling wind and the crunch of boots on ice. The sudden drop in temperature caught many off guard, transforming bustling neighborhoods into scenes of winter survival. This wasn't just another cold snap, it was a weather event that demanded immediate action. Streets emptied as people rushed indoors, and the city's usual energy faded beneath a blanket of snow and ice. The air grew razor-sharp, and a sense of urgency swept over millions as Friday, February 6, 2026, ended. Even the most seasoned locals felt the sting, as temperatures plummeted to levels not seen in decades. Weather alerts dominated headlines, with forecasters warning of life-threatening, historic cold. News outlets urged everyone to stay vigilant as the risk of frostbite and hypothermia soared. Weekend plans vanished, replaced by a collective focus on safety and preparation. Concerts, sporting events, and family gatherings were postponed or canceled, as communities prioritized well-being over routine. Meteorologists tracked the Arctic air as it broke free and surged south, signaling the coldest temperatures in years. The science behind the polar vortex became a topic of conversation, as everyone tried to understand the scale of what was unfolding. Residents rushed to stock up on essentials, winter-proof homes, and brace for the oncoming freeze. Grocery stores and hardware shops saw long lines, as people prepared for the possibility of power outages and travel disruptions. City and state officials activated emergency protocols, flooding every channel with urgent advisories: stay indoors, take the cold seriously, and check on neighbors. Emergency shelters opened their doors, and first responders worked around the clock to keep everyone safe. The region shifted from routine to high alert, facing a challenge that would test its infrastructure and resilience. Every corner of the tri-state area felt the impact, from city skyscrapers to quiet suburban streets. The Arctic blast was more than a weather story. It was a community-wide trial, demanding unity and vigilance. In the face of nature's fury, neighbors came together, proving that even in the coldest moments, the warmth of community endures. The weekend forecast was stark. An extreme cold warning blanketed the entire tri-state area, sending a ripple of concern through communities from city centers to quiet suburbs. Meteorologists warned that this would be one of the coldest weekends in recent memory, with temperatures plummeting far below seasonal averages. The real danger wasn't just the temperature but the brutal wind chills, expected to plunge as low as 30 below zero. Exposure for even a few minutes could mean frostbite, making even short trips outside hazardous. The biting wind seemed to cut through even the thickest layers, and the cold seeped into every corner of the city, affecting everyone from commuters to those without shelter. Light snow was forecast to fall as temperatures dropped, creating slick, icy roads and hidden dangers for drivers and pedestrians. Winds gusting over 40 miles per hour threatened to bring down tree limbs and create treacherous crosswinds, especially on bridges. Emergency crews were on high alert, anticipating power outages and blocked roads as the storm intensified. Officials urged everyone to avoid non-essential travel and stay indoors until conditions improved. The combination of blowing snow, extreme cold, and high winds created a trifecta of hazards. City services prepared warming centers for those in need, and public transit schedules were adjusted to keep people safe. Public safety messages were clear: bundle up, stay put, and be vigilant. The region braced for a marathon of cold, with little relief expected before the following week. Residents were reminded to check on neighbors, especially the elderly and vulnerable, and to keep pets indoors. This was not a time for routine, it was a time for caution and preparation. As the city hunkered down, the focus shifted to staying safe, warm, and connected, weathering the storm together until the cold finally loosened its grip. As the Arctic blast approached, New York City launched an all-out effort to protect its most vulnerable, especially the homeless. Mayor Zohran Mamdani activated Code Blue, expanding outreach teams to seek out those at risk and offer shelter. Peer outreach, including those with lived experience of homelessness, helped connect with people on the streets and subways. Over 200 placements into shelters were made, and emergency hospital transports were used when lives were in immediate danger. The city rapidly opened new hotel shelter units and expanded warming centers, including schools and CUNY sites, to operate 24/7. After complaints, the 311 hotline was streamlined to speed up help for those in need. The city's swift, compassionate response turned public infrastructure into a life-saving safety net. The response extended across New Jersey and Connecticut, with governors urging residents to stay home and activating emergency operations. Warming centers opened in libraries and community centers, widely publicized for those without heat. Utility companies were on high alert, and state police increased highway patrols to assist stranded motorists. Connecticut's 211 hotline directed residents to shelters, and officials urged everyone to check on vulnerable neighbors. Transportation departments treated roads to prevent black ice, and building owners secured sites against high winds. Public safety departments issued targeted warnings, from securing cranes to preventing power outages. This coordinated, multi-state effort was a model of proactive, preventative public safety management. The MTA mobilized extra crews across subways, buses, and commuter rails to keep transit running through the freeze. Outdoor tracks were closely monitored, and station waiting rooms stayed open overnight for shelter. Bus drivers slowed down and checked for ice while rail crews patrolled for frozen switches. Bridges and tunnels banned empty tractor trailers during peak winds and warned of possible pedestrian walkway closures. Continuous updates kept riders informed, and Access A-Ride drivers were extra vigilant for vulnerable passengers. The focus was on prevention, safety, and clear communication. Operational readiness and real-time response were key to keeping the region moving. Homeowners were urged to act fast to prevent frozen pipes and costly damage. Simple steps, like opening cabinet doors and letting faucets drip, could keep pipes from freezing. Everyone was advised to locate their main water shutoff valve in case of a burst pipe. Heating systems needed to be checked, and dangerous alternatives like gas stoves were strongly discouraged. Working carbon monoxide and smoke detectors were essential, and space heaters had to be used safely. Sealing drafts and disconnecting garden hoses added extra protection. These practical measures formed the first line of defense against the Arctic cold. The Arctic blast forced the cancellation of cherished public events, including the Freeze-Out Cancer Swim in Long Island Sound. Organizers postponed the event, citing the unprecedented risk of hypothermia and frostbite for swimmers and spectators. The decision, made with public safety officials, was met with understanding. Safety came first. The postponement served as a high-profile reminder this was no ordinary cold snap. Across the region, community events, markets, and outdoor gatherings were called off. Parks and recreational areas were deserted as residents heeded warnings to stay indoors. The vibrant energy of the tri-state paused, replaced by a collective commitment to safety. The community's response showed wisdom in the face of nature's power. The freeze's story was written in acts of caution, kindness, and resilience. Streets emptied as residents turned homes into fortresses, heeding warnings and checking on neighbors. Social media buzzed with tips and offers of help, reinforcing community bonds. Essential workers like sanitation, utility, police, fire, and medical braved the cold to keep the city running. Their dedication kept heat and power on, roads clear, and help available. Yet tragedy struck, with 17 lives lost to the cold, underscoring the stakes. These losses fueled outreach and reinforced the need for vigilance and compassion. The weekend became a testament to both the city's vulnerability and its strength. As the cold finally began to retreat and temperatures slowly rose, a wave of relief swept across the tri-state area. The first rays of sunlight glinting off the snow signaled not just a change in weather, but a collective sigh of hope and gratitude from millions who'd endured days of relentless cold. The region had weathered one of its most intense and punishing cold snaps in recent memory, a true test of both infrastructure and the social bonds that hold communities together. Streets that were once bustling fell silent, and daily routines were upended as everyone braced for the worst. Government action, the tireless resilience of MTA workers, and the preparedness of homeowners all played vital roles in keeping the city moving, even when the odds seemed stacked against them. Every effort, from clearing subway entrances to salting sidewalks, made a difference. The rapid mobilization to protect the homeless, combined with clear and timely public messaging, saved countless lives. Outreach teams worked around the clock, ensuring that the most vulnerable were not left behind in the freezing temperatures. But perhaps the real story was found in the quiet resilience of millions who stayed home, checked on neighbors, and supported each other in small but meaningful ways. Families looked out for one another, and communities found strength in simple acts of kindness. The shared ordeal forged a unique sense of unity across the region, reminding everyone that even in the harshest conditions, compassion and solidarity can shine through. Volunteers distributed food and blankets, and strangers became friends. The Arctic blast of 2026 will be remembered not only for its severity, but for the extraordinary way the community came together. It was a moment that tested everyone, and yet it revealed the best in people. As life gradually returns to normal and the city thaws, the memory of the Great Freeze endures, not just as a story of hardship, but as lasting proof of the tri-state's unbreakable spirit and the power of community in the face of adversity.